Alright guys, so can we start the session? Am I audible to all of you? The voice is loud and clear and you can see the screen, everything is visible. Can you just put that in the chat box? Okay, so I can see some of you are replying that wasn't. Yes. Alright, okay. So guys, it's very clear. It's audible, it's visible. So let's start the session. And we are going to discuss this topic, maximizing your score in sociology. So what all things we need to do with respect to sociology when we are preparing for this particular subject. So how can we score maximum mark, like in the range of, we are targeting 280 to 300 or plus this, okay. See, let's get deeper into the syllabus and then we will discuss what all things you need to do when it comes to different areas in the syllabus. And the first thing first, you need to have a very clear understanding of the syllabus, and there is no compromise on that. And here, when I say very clear understanding, at any point of time, you should be in a position to tell each and every key word in the syllabus. Means what? You need to mug it up. You should have a very clear idea. See, if you know the rules of the game, if you know what game you are going to play, then only you can play it better. So what is the syllabus? And we are going to deal with the syllabus. There is a syllabus for paper 1, there is a syllabus for paper 2, and we are going to deal with this. Everything is clearly mentioned and you need to know what is there in the syllabus, and it should be by heart. Okay, so mug it up. And after that only we are going to start preparing for this, okay. And again, when it comes to each and every point in syllabus, whatever it is, you need to have very clear idea about all of that. And minimum 250 words you should be in a position to write given any single topic on the syllabus. Okay, so these two things I want you to have, whether it is from my notes or any notes, everything is given to you beyond 250 words for each and every topic, and we have discussed everything in the class also, and I don't think that you will be facing any such problem. Now only thing is that you need to put some effort, okay. So see, the comprehensive coverage of the syllabus. So every topic listed in the syllabus you should cover, and you are not going to leave anything for chances. We are not going to leave anything for chances. Okay, so what if it the one which you are leaving comes in that compulsory question, the first the first 5 questions in the part 1 or part 2, then you are in trouble. So we don't want to take chances, not even a single topic that you're going to leave. Okay, so that's the first condition. And depth of preparation, I want you to have 250 words for each and every topic which is mentioned in the syllabus, and I have given to you the best in the answer format. I have given to you. Beyond that, all the details with respect to that topic is given to you, which it in itself comes more than 500 words for every topic, and when it comes to thinkers, it is beyond 1000 words also. So there is no other resource required. Everything is there with you, and you need to make it as your own. That's the only task you need to do. Okay, and then readiness for the conventional question. So be prepared to answer the expected question, like emergence of sociology. If it is asked this year, definitely next to next year is a question if it is not asked in the next year. So it's not that I'm not saying that this year is asked, it won't ask next year. These are questions which are very highly probable, right? Sociology as science, positivism, non-positivism, all these are very high probable question, and these are expected questions. And if you see from the first 3 chapters, you will get 3-4 questions and very limited topics, and all are interconnected topic also. So these are very much expected, and you should have a very clear understanding, and that's where you will be scoring high. Right, that's the area where you stand out. That's what make your paper distinct from others. Okay, because anyway, sociology syllabus is common, almost everyone reading and studying the same thing and writing almost the same thing. What make you distinct is the way you present it, and that's where we stand out. We need to stand out in that way. Okay, so coming to this, again, this is the most important aspect. Analyzing previous year questions. I have done that for you. I have break it down, and we discussed syllabus section wise section, right? So from first 3 chapters, what are the questions asked, how you approach that. Do you remember that I told you any question from the first 3 chapters, if you're going to start your answer with emergence of sociology. whether it is sociology as science, or sociology common sense, or positivism or non-positivism, or even quantitative qualitative methods, or even scope of sociology, or sociology as common sense, you are going to start with emergence. What you will be saying: sociology emerged in response to the challenges posed before modernity in medieval Europe. With that, you are actually talking about the emergence, you are talking about medieval Europe, you are talking about modernity, you are talking about the challenges posed before modernity, and the quest arised at that point of time, and the emergence of sociology, everything in one single line, right? So, okay, so from, yeah, understand the question patterns, analyze how the questions are framed, okay, identify the repeated topics. Like I told you, if you look at the first three chapters: positivism, non-positivism, emergence, sociology as science, quantitative qualitative methods, and from research methods, right? Again, from thinkers, the questions which are repeated, and apart from that, other topics also. So these are things which is done in the class, and you can also do your own work for that matter. Then it is going to be very easy for you. Okay, so and prepare for the similar questions. Once you have a clear understanding of what they are asking and how they are asking, then you know what to do for that, right? So that's why we did the same exercise in the class. We have discussed the topic and we have seen the questions. We have understood the patterns of the questions which they are asking from that particular topic, and we have, prepared for the similar question also. Beyond that, what we can do, right? So just follow the same across all. There are some areas where I have missed out, right, where I discussed just the topics and left it to you. That area at least you need to complete yourself. Okay, so again, effective note making. Even this also you don't want to do, just go with the PDF which is given to you. It is ultimate and concise note is what actually given to you. So every summary, the bullet points and everything is given, the flow chart is given, the block diagram is given, especially for the theories. Okay, so that's we have done, and that you can use in the answer also directly. Sometimes visual aids, that's what the block diagrams. If you remember, I have given it for almost all the thinkers and almost all the theories, right? For example, religion, the theory of religion by Durkheim, we have discussed, right? Parsons' theory, we have discussed in terms of diagrams. Okay, so this actually will help you in the quick revision towards the end. Revision is a must, so that will actually help you, and that help you to retain things very easily. So these visual representation not only help you to retain things, but it also impress the examiner, right? So you remember this, I just want to talk about that example, primitive society, and from there we are talking about, the totem, the emergence of religion. So how collective exaltation, togetherness, and all those things, we have made it in a block diagram. Okay, so importance of answer writing practice. Again, guys, every day at least 1 or 2 answer you need to write, and you can write that in one answer you can write in 150 words, and the other you can write in 200 words. Okay, so you are getting prepared for the short note. It is not necessary 150, you can make it to 120 words also, and then 200 words also. Okay, so basically 1.5 page, right? If this is a page, this is 1 page, so your short note, that compulsory answer and the 10 markers should come in this full page and half of this. That's how it is. And if it is like 20 marker, this is 1 page, another page, and either half of it, or you can make it into 3 pages or 2.5 pages. 1.5 page or 2 page for 10 marker, depends on time and the content that you have. Make it 1.5, that's fine. Here 2.5 or 3 pages. Okay, regular mock test, attempt 1 full test, if possible once in a week. Weekly you can do, or if this week you are doing paper 1, next week you try to do paper 2, so that it will help you to analyze your capacity to answer 1 full paper in the given 3 hours. And if you practice this, that's going to make a huge impact and difference towards the end. That will increase your speed also, because ultimately the problem that most of you face will be, it's not about the content, it's about the time and it's about the speed. So once you practice it, that won't be there. Okay, now these are the points which we have discussed again and again in the class, how to answer these questions, discuss, analyze, compare, For example, critically analyze, right? So we have discussed about critically analyze, and in fact all the questions we have solved also. I have given you the pattern. For example, I want to critically analyze Marx's theory of historical materialism. So the question is critically analyze Marx's theory of historical materialism. So how I'm going to do this? I'll be, what is the structure that I follow? I'll be first writing the introduction about the Karl Marx. Okay, so I'll give you a brief about Marx in maybe 20-25 words. So I'll be writing in 20 to 25 words or 20 words. And then what I do is, I will be talking about the theory of historical materialism. And this is the body, this is the main content for me. And then what I do? Remember, I follow the formula CCR, right? What is this C? After writing the theory, I'll talk about the contribution of Marx. So Marx have contributed in this way, or Marxian theories have contributed in this way. I'll mention one or two contribution, and then comes to this part, that is the second C, that's the criticism. So what I'm doing here, before I'm going for, see, critically analyze doesn't mean that criticize. Keep this in mind. Critically analyze doesn't mean that criticize. Critically analyze essentially means analyze. Bring the positives and negatives and conclusion. Okay, so it is not criticize. Then I'll talk about criticism. So I gave the intro about Marx, I talked about the theory about historical materialism, and then I'm talking about contribution, I'm talking about criticism, and finally this R, I'll be talking about relevance of Marx theory. So even though Marxian theories have been criticized on these aspects, its practical applicability, or it is utopian and his concept of communism will never come into practice and all those, but still it is relevant till the time poverty and unemployment exist, or exploitation of man by man exist, etc. Whatever, I have given a lot of contribution, a lot of criticism, a lot of relevance, at least 10 points I have given for this, and 10 criticisms each I have given for each of the theory, historical materialism, alienation, class and class struggle, etc. Okay, and then contribution also I have given at least minimum 10. You need to take 2 from this, 3 or 4 criticism, most important criticisms, and even in this criticism, what you need to do is, there are some general criticisms, and then there are some specific criticisms, right? So generally Marxian theories have been criticized, all the theories have been criticized on these ways. Macro theory, you know, it's a kind of deductive approach, etc. There are general criticisms, utopian concepts, okay, and there are specific criticism which are specific to the theories, specific to historical materialism, specific to alienation, specific to class struggle. So what you need to do, writing contribution, you can take any 2 from whatever I have given, that's your choice. 10 I have given, 2 you can select. Each of the theories I have given specific 10. I have given general 5, 4 which is applicable across the theory. So take 2 general and 3 specific. What more you need? And relevance, again take 2 out of 10 which is given, complete your answer. So this is how a critically analyzed answer need to be written. And how about discuss? Discuss means present arguments for and against. It's again the similar way. Analyze means break down into various components and make it a proper analysis. Compare means show similarities and differences that you can show in table also. I'll be showing you the format later. Okay, now again, balancing theory and application. See guys, include the key concepts and thinkers always, any question which is asked, and provide definitions and explanations which are given by thinkers. For example, even when I am talking about family, I talk about the definitions of Parson have defined family this way, Durkheim have defined family this way, right? So that's how I first give the definition of authority. I first give the definition from the thinkers, and then I move forward, right? And then I'll talk about the real world examples. I talk about the application. So how I apply these theories into the contemporary society or contemporary issues. Okay, so the first part is always the theoretical aspect, and then comes the practical aspect, and allocate proper weightage, balance both. Again, subparts of questions. Always understand questions. Okay, always divide the question, the subparts which is asked, and give importance to each of the subparts which is asked in a question. That's very important. Identify the subparts, underline and make it different, because sometimes what will happen is you may try to, you see the question and by the time you write, you give answer to one part only. You may miss the other part, you may either forget it, or you might be keep on writing about the first part. You have to remember, you have to underline the different question, mark it as 1, 2 itself so that you won't forget it. Always keep this in mind. If you miss this, you're going to miss the mark also. If you're not answering the sub part, you won't get score for that because it is divided accordingly. Okay, time allocation. Again, divide your time appropriately for each subparts, each question. So we have taken a separate discussion on this. Watch the video. And space management, that I already have discussed how you manage that. I have an idea that if it is a 10 marker, 1.5 to 2 pages. If you are making it bigger than 2 pages, it's always better to make it bigger. Why? Because you'll get that fullness. Entire paper will be filled. This is what I did. At the same time, even if you're writing so fast, it will be legible. They will be able to read it. Right? Okay. And then complete coverage. Don't miss any single question or any single part. You have to answer every single question and try to make it full. See, always, this is again something which is very important. Capture the essence of the question. Identify the core demand. Read the question, identify the core demand, underline that. So that's the first and most important part that you need to do. The moment you see the question, understand, identify what is actually they're asking from that particular question. What is the core of the question? For example, critically analyze historical materialism. Core is about the theory of historical materialism. So understand the core and stress that part more. Okay, and then focused response based on the main point and avoid the tangents. So stay on topic and don't include irrelevant information. Right? See, that doesn't mean that if you got a question on Marx, conflict theory, you definitely have to talk about Durkheim. That is not considered as irrelevant. That is relevant because that's offering an entirely different perspective. So a balanced opinion it will bring, but avoid other things beyond these dimensions. Okay. So, and a clear conclusion is required for each of these questions. Again, the importance of substantiation, which is again very significant. All arguments, any point you make, whether it is related to family or marriage or religion or anything, if possible, not just if possible, make that point if you can substantiate with the thinkers, that's the best, or with any recent study or any statistics, etc. Okay, so always try to use thinkers or case studies or data, and that add credibility to your answer. Sometimes, see, not always, sometimes you will come to a situation where you don't have anything to substantiate. Create a case study. No one is going to Google it at that point of time. Okay, so if you see how MG and REGA help in women empowerment, if you don't know anything in this particular village, just name a village. That can be your village. See, 983 women got this benefit out of, out of the study which is conducted. 983 women, got empowered in this way, that way, like that. You can say, when you're saying, especially with respect to this number, no one is going to believe, think that it is wrong. They will actually think that this might have been a study which would have conducted, but they don't know, because no one is expected to know everything, right? So always substantiate your answer. If you're making a point, substantiate it with data, case study or thinker. That's very important. Always find supporting evidence, again using the same, and integrate these substantiation in your answer, and that will actually enhance your credibility. Always guys, this is very difficult. Clear writing, I'm not talking about, you can make it simple English, that's always better. Always simple things work. And again, remember, clear writing means handwriting. It's not that you need to have a very good handwriting, it need to be legible. But the problem is you keep on writing, the speed. So what the best thing that you can do is, if you are normally writing in 1.5 page, make it into 2 page. So make it bigger, automatically it will be legible and it will be fuller. So instead of writing in 1.5 page in your normal way, it will look bad. Secondly, when you're writing it bigger, it will look good. At least it will be legible and it will look fuller. That will add advantage. 1-2 mark extra you will get with that itself. I've done this and that's how I'm talking about this. And use appropriate terminology. Always try to use sociological terms correctly. Never make a mistake. Okay. And avoid the complexity. Keep the sentences short and to the point always. Coherent flow is required. So ensure a logical progression of ideas properly. So always, like I have discussed this before, there should be an introduction and proper structure is required for your answer, and then a body and then a conclusion. So if you remember, what is that example which I have given to you? Critically analyze theory of historical materialism. I talked about this introduction about Marx. I talked about body, which is historical materialism. In that conclusion, what they're demanding is critically analyze. So I want to make it CCR, contribution, criticism. This I want to divide as general and also specific and then relevance. Perfect. Again, crafting effective introduction. How can you do that? Define key terms. For that, use thinkers. Start with thinkers, that is a better option. And establish the premise, highlight the importance, use the current topic, examples, etc. Enhancing the visibility. So what we can do, if you look at all the answers which we have discussed in the class, either I would have given a flow chart with you, or I would have given a table with you, or I would have given a block diagram with you. Answers are shown in a block diagram. That helps in understanding the answer easily. Whoever is looking into that answer, they will understand that you know the concept. Okay, so that's how it will help. Again, balancing the paragraphs and bullet points, and see there are, this is one of the main questions that the students used to ask, whether I should write in bullet points or in paragraphs. See, when it comes to sociology, it is always advised to write in paragraphs. Have you ever seen a scholar or a sociologist write anything in bullet points? No. In GS you can do that, but in sociology, but there are cases where when it comes to comparisons or when it comes to the 10 marker, there are instances, there are situations where you need to make bullet points also. But what is better? Always 75% should be in paragraph, maybe 25 in bullet points. So maintain that balance between paragraphs and bullet points. If you're very sure and certain, and if you have more and more points, in that case, try to use bullet points to convey more and more message, and if that can impress the examiner. Otherwise, it's not worth using the bullet points. Always use a combination. Okay. Again, comparison question, always try to go for a tabular representation, that is better. So you can divide it like this, the key concept, you can discuss comparison, concept 1, concept 2, okay, and then application you can explain in different example wise. Criticism also you can explain in that way, so that comparison can be made in a table. Again, you see questions like sociology versus economy, sociology versus anthropology. These comparison questions you can discuss in this way. See, these are basic things. Use always sociological vocabulary, sociological language. I've already, when we started the session, that time itself, I advised you to buy that dictionary and to keep referring to that just to get that sociological vocabulary. Okay, so and then correct spelling, try to make it always, and proper grammar. That's why I told you to use very simple English. Keep it very simple. The simple things always work. Don't ever try to make things complicated in your life, in your exam, in any way. Don't do that. Writing practice, daily 2 answer, weekly 1 full test. Okay, or at least bi-weekly. Okay, effective use of subheading. There are areas where you need to use subheadings and then use always relevant subheadings. Organize the content properly with subheadings. Okay, and then that will actually help in improving the readability. The examiner will also understand with the subheadings the concept that you want to give, and always try to underline the key points. Okay, and conclusions are always important. That is the lasting impression. So that's after reading the conclusion only they are going to give you the mark. So always need to be very good. This is the always try to give for and against, the counter arguments also, the 2 versions also, and try to give a balanced conclusion, and provide a balanced view of the topic, overall interpretation. Contemporary relevance you need to give towards the end, and give a proper, strong, memorable concluding statement. Okay, now recommended books. We discussed this already. There is no point in spending time in this. We start with NCERT, but since you have the notes and you're attending the classes and everything, you just leave this. You don't want to spend time on this. Okay, just the class notes is enough, the PDF is enough, the classes is enough. Along with that, read Harlem Bose. That's it. Ritzer if it is required. So the class notes enough, the PDF enough, the questions that we discussed and the answer formats which is given, that's enough. Okay, and I can guarantee you on that. You can also read Harlem Bose so that you'll get that sociology vocabulary, and Ritzer if it is required. And paper 2 I have told you the books which is required. Okay, so that you need to cover. IGNO and Harlem Bose, Ritzer. Keep 1 dictionary always, any 1 dictionary. Paper 2, the standard text which we already discussed, and online resources, a lot of case studies and other things you can get, and contemporary issues, always get updated with the contemporary issues, economic, political, weekly, etc. And importance of test series. Again, guys, we will be having the test series, we will be having the 1-to-1 session. So that is there, but beyond that, try to write answers. I told you one complete test in a week. Okay, so regular practice is required, regular answer writing. Get the feedback from your mentor. So we will be having 1-to-1 sessions, so don't worry about that. And then when you take the test more and more, then you will be able to manage the speed, manage the time. I'm sure 100% that you will never face problem with the content. You know everything. You will not face any situation where you don't know the answer for a particular question. The problem that you're going to face, I can tell you now, it's not about the knowledge or it's not about the content. It's not about that you are not knowing the answer. It's all about the time and the speed that ultimately will come and tell me that you were not able to manage it. You know the answer. I left out 3 answers which I actually know. This is what. Okay, so you can see the toppers' answers also if you want to get some ideas. Available in the internet, everything is there, open nowadays, so that's not a big deal. Analyze the content, analyze the structure, presentation tips, and you can see the improvement areas. Something which you can do apart from the analysis which you got from the mentor. Importance of current affair, of course, especially for paper 2, I told you, relevant, very relevant. You need to add the current affairs with respect to the questions which are asked, okay, to give supporting arguments, to give examples, to give case studies and everything that is required. So regularly keep updated, and I'm sure that you will be doing that. Okay, for your GS, you need to do anyway. And case studies you will get, recent case studies. The applications of theories where you will get the recent contemporary issues, contemporary relevance. So get always updated with the current affairs for sociology, which is very important. And again, sociological imagination, always try to imagine and see things from sociological perspective, even your personal experiences also. So again, social structure, try to make connections, link personal experiences to larger social issue, understand the broader societal patterns. Okay, so these will actually help you. So that's how I told you, if you remember, sociological vocabulary, sociological imagination, sociological understanding, sociological interpretation, and ultimately these will lead you to a sociological writing. Okay, that will fetch you the mark. Okay, so then again, analytical thinking, develop a sociological perspective in everyday life, everywhere. Try to do the same. Guys, revision. You might be learning 2 topics a day. That's what we used to do. Every session I cover 2 topics. So you will be revising 2 topics daily. That is something which you need to do. And weekly, whatever we have covered, you will be revising. And then monthly consolidation, and then pre-exam consolidation. These are things which you are supposed to do. There is no point in me talking about this theoretically, but those who are not attending our classes, okay, so this I'll be uploading in YouTube, so they will see that. That's why I have mentioned that. I've added that slides. Always try to develop the critical thinking, means write the positive and negative and comes with a balanced approach. See, any theories you need to accept only with analysis, proper analysis. So question the assumption always, analyze the arguments, always examine the strength and weakness of sociological perspective, consider alternatives always. Any such option is there, possibility is there, always try to consider the alternative. You remember that we have already discussed that in our theories, functional alternative. In the paradigm, the functional paradigm we discussed. Okay, so there also we discussed about alternatives. So this is nothing from outside, it's from your theory that you have learned in Merton. Okay, and evaluate the evidences, supporting evidence and everything. Guys, always very important, set the goals. It need to be very clear. Maintain that motivation. If you need to complete it in time, if you need to crack this exam, it's a long process. Maintain that motivation, set weekly goals, monthly goals, 3-month goals, and try to achieve that step by step. Okay, so, and always try to monitor, track the progress, and this is why you need to have a mentor who can understand you, someone who need to evaluate you from outside also. If you are leaving everything to yourself, it may not work. So you need a mentor who's there to support you, who can understand you in the entire journey. Okay, always reward yourself. You have done very well in the test series, means go out, have some, spend some time and then come back and then study again. So stay positive always. Again, final tips for success, I would say regular practice, a balanced approach for your preparation, and keep learning and always do things which are based on the goals. Okay, so guys, that's about this session. I hope I've made it very clear how to answer and everything. We discussed this again and again in each of our sessions, but here I just try to consolidate it. That's why I went faster and I skipped many of the slides, because this is boring for you. We are repeating the same again and again in every lectures, and that's it. Okay, so I'll see you guys again in the next session, and thank you so much. See you. Any questions? Yeah, what I'll do is, I'll stop recording this and then I'll come back to you. Just give me 1 minute. Let's take a break. Okay, let's take a break for 5 minutes. I'll be coming back. Okay, so see you guys. Just 5 minutes. Sanjay, I'll be answering this question. Okay, don't worry. Guys, we'll take a break for 5 minutes and we'll be coming back.